Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Real Talks. Today I'm going to be speaking to Lyndon. We're going to talk on resilience, determination and a mindset. Now, if you're feeling unmotivated, I guarantee you this episode is going to change your whole outlook. Let's get straight into it. Who is Lyndon and what does he do?
So, God, let me explain this from the start. Should have known this was coming. So, who is Lyndon Longhorne? He is a guy who has suffered from meningitis and dealt with disability throughout his life, but he's the one with ambition. He's the one that's built up resilience, and he's had the determination to push him to that next level.
Love that.
And he's the person that will go out there and show that it's not about your disability. It is this ability to show that you are the owner of what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. That's short and sweet. Love that. Lyndon is that person. And you are an athlete.
I am an athlete, yes.
Yeah, we're a Paralympian as well, and still are a Paralympian on so many levels. Now, can you talk about your training regimen and kind of how and what prep goes into what you do, especially at the Paralympic level?
Yeah, of course. So I've been, with my training, exactly, it's been going on for 12 years.
Wow.
So it's a long time, a lot of dedication, a lot of sacrifices that I've given up. However, the training regime itself, it's like no other. You think, oh, I'm just going to go and get in the pool and swim up and down. No, it's not that.
I can't even swim, so I'm in awe of you already.
So you're looking at a weekly regime of a Monday to Saturday, 6 days a week. Sunday will be your rest day, unless you're racing on a weekend, and then you would be racing right through. So you'd have a day. I'll run you through a typical day, actually. So it'll be up at 4 o'clock in the morning. You then go and train them for 2 hours. You then have your day at work or day at school, college, whatever you're doing. And then you're back training at night. And sometimes on a night, you might not be finished training until like 8 or 9 o'clock.
So how do you stay consistent in that?
Staying consistent is important, and it's a key factor. And it's one of those where you will literally have to tell yourself every single day, do I want the reward now? Or do you want it delayed? So it's the two forms of gratification that I go on about all the time. For me, I would rather keep focused on that task and know if you've set yourself that goal of saying, I'm going to get to a Paralympics or I'm going to get to Olympic level or whatever, you know there are going to be days which drag you through the worst of the worst. And you've just got to remember, I'm aiming for that goal. It's not going to come to me tomorrow. It's not going to come in the next month or year. This is a long-term project that you have to work on within yourself.
And having said that, you talk about the Paralympics and competing. What are some of your toughest challenges that you've faced, especially in the Paralympics?
The toughest challenges I've had with the Paralympics is failing twice to get there.
And what were those instances?
For me, it was at that moment, do I just leave? Do I just turn around and say, after London, for example, when I tried to get to the games in 2012, that for me was a pinnacle point, being in your home country, of saying, yes, I want to do this. And when you don't, it kind of puts the downer on it.
And what does that no feel like? But the moment you get told you're not going to make it, how did you feel at that moment?
At that moment in time, for me, it was a case of, as a young boy, you think, oh, well, I'm not going to do it. And I've got to keep going, and it's never going to happen. That rejection. But as you get older, you start to learn that failure is actually the best thing that could ever happen to you.
100%. They always say, without failure, you can't enjoy success.
Absolutely.
So how did you overcome those moments of 2012, for example, which obviously was a big moment? How did you overcome this?
So I overcome it by the pick me up moments. So that for me was carrying the torch in London 2012.
You carried an Olympic torch.
I did, yes.
And see, I know that, but for our audience who don't know, what is an Olympic torch?
An Olympic torch is part of the torch relay, which is basically a key part of the Olympic Games or Paralympic Games. It's a moment which starts the whole journey, and you can follow that all the way through, and it goes through multiple cities, towns, to get to its final destination. And obviously for London, it went through my hometown, and it was a case of, do you know what, this is incredible.
And how did that feel, that moment when you're, like, obviously because there's a length of distance, how do you feel when the crowds are watching and you're carrying this torch?
So when that moment in time, you sit and think, you might get a couple of hundred people turn out. No, this was thousands of people turned out. That moment, one word, electric. That is it.
Imagine. Did it give you this boost to keep achieving what you're achieving?
It was that moment where it boosted us to say, do you know what, this is if this is what this is like,
Yeah.
what's a game's going to be like?
Yeah. This is just a glimpse.
This is just that little. This is the starter.
Yeah.
If it was a 3-course meal, that's your starter.
Yeah.
Then you've got your main and then your dessert.
I love a 3-course meal, don't we? I mean, some have more. Interesting, because a lot of people won't have seen a torch. Now, do you get to keep that torch?
Some relays you do.
Yeah.
Like London, there was a torch for all the guys that carried it.
Amazing.
However, there's other relays which you don't get to keep the torch.
Did you get to keep one?
I did. I've got my very own torch.
I love that. And you've done something quite incredible in schools with that. Do you want to tell us what that is?
Yeah, so with the schools, it is a key element of mine, of this is the starter.
Yeah.
And then obviously I take it in to show the kids that it's a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity to witness a torch in sight. And it's not every day those kids will get to see that, especially the kids in the lower levels.
Yeah.
That might never grow up and see one. And, or they might see it on TV, but in person it's completely different.
Yeah, and do you know what? You just ruined a bit of moment for my life then, because we could have saw the torch today.
Yeah.
Just saying, you know.
Next subject.
Do you know what? I completely forgot to ask you. I would have asked you to bring it.
I know.
But no, that's amazing. And for a child to follow their dreams, to see you, you know, following your dreams and being able to do and achieve these things is so important. And you know, you overcame these moments with strength and resilience, and you've got that champion mindset. Now, what would you say is the most important thing about having a strong mindset?
Having a strong mindset's key.
Yeah.
It's that moment where you turn around to yourself and say, I am built for this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be knocked down at the first hurdle or the second or the third. There's the quote that goes, it can take 100 days before you get the right one.
Yeah.
But that could go on for years.
Yeah.
And it's that moment in time where you say, yes, I'm still building. I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I'm pushing to get to where I want to be.
Yeah.
Other people will try and pull you down.
Yeah,
I've been there. I've been through that. You'll know it yourself that you'll have been through those times. That's where you've got to turn around and say, do you know what? I'm going to absolutely hammer this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be the best of the best just to get to a games.
Yeah.
Yes, if you win a medal, amazing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, just going there, you're a part of a special group that is an Olympic athlete or Paralympic athlete.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've talked about you know, getting to those games and that elation and that feeling when you get there. Now, I want to go back to those moments where we won't call them failures, we'll call them lessons, where you maybe didn't get to a certain games.
Yeah.
How many of those moments were there? And talk me through the first one.
There were many moments.
Yeah.
So I started training in 2009 to set a sight of going, I want to get to London 2012.
Yeah.
I failed, but as I represent it now, it's the first attempt in learning.
Yeah.
Great way to represent that.
100%.
You go again. I failed at London and I left the sport. Yeah. And it was a moment where I turned around and said, I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
And then luckily I came back in 2019 after having a little girl in 2018. Yeah. And that for me was that you are going to graft your backside off to absolutely do this.
Yeah.
And you are not going to stop until you do. And if I didn't do that, I'd be sat here today saying, I wished I'd carried on.
Yeah.
But I'm pleased I have, because I've learned a hell of a lot more.
Absolutely. And you spoke about your little girl. Beautiful. And how does it feel being a parent? Because obviously you have a lot more challenges than certain people.
Yeah.
How do you cope on a day-to-day basis? How does your little girl see you as well as a kind of a important figure?
Yeah, on a day-to-day basis it's different. So you have to cope being an athlete. You do need to make those sacrifices.
Yeah.
It's not easy. There might be days where you've got to be away for times.
Yeah.
You could even be away for weeks. But you have to think, this is a short-term project.
Yeah.
It's long-term in your head.
Yeah, of course.
But in hindsight, it's a short-term thing.
Yeah.
You might do this for the next 8 to 10 years. Yeah. But after that, you might turn around and say, do you know what, I'm done.
Yeah.
And then you pass that down. That legacy goes down to your daughter or your son.
Yeah.
If they want to carry that on, amazing. But it's inspiring that next generation to come through and show you have got the resilience, you have got the ambition, you've got that growth mindset to push you to that next level.
Yeah, absolutely. When you've been knocked down and you've had those situations where, you know, people maybe have tried to derail you, how important was it having a strong mindset? But also, have you had any moments where you felt, I can't do this anymore?
Oh, I've had many moments where I thought I just couldn't do this anymore. There's been plenty of times in training where I've woke up on a morning and gone and just been like, what are you doing with your life?
It's not working for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get yourself in that dark hole of going, get up, do it again.
Yeah.
Eat, sleep, train, repeat.
Yeah.
You've got to repeat that
Yeah.
throughout a year's cycle.
Yeah.
So you could go from September right the way through to like the games now in August
Yeah.
without a break.
Yeah.
And bearing in mind
Intense.
that it's
Yeah.
very intense, and it's at a point where you go, I might have to sacrifice Christmas.
Yeah.
I might have to go away at Christmas.
Yeah.
Are you
How does
prepared?
that feel? When you're everybody else is around the table and you're seeing families and everyone's enjoying Christmas and you're not able to have that. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's one of those where you look back and say, you've just got to remind yourself.
Yeah.
Just say to yourself, this is a journey I'm going on.
Yeah.
That day could cost you from getting to the top level.
Yeah.
And that's how I look at things now. And you say, yes, I'm sacrificing, but this is to help with things that I'm improving on later in life.
Yeah, so it's all about the bigger picture.
It is,
and
yeah.
having long-term goals.
If you're an artist, you paint your picture,
Yeah.
but you paint it with precision,
Yeah.
and you know what you're going to do.
Yeah.
As an
absolutely.
athlete, whatever you're in, whether it's athletics, swimming, boxing, whatever it is, you will have that image in your head.
Yeah.
Your little artist is creating that image, and you've got to go on that journey to complete that image.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, would you say you feel like you've achieved what you wanted to in swimming?
100% I've achieved what I wanted to achieve.
Yeah.
As a young boy, when you watch the games in 2008, I've then gone on to do that. Yes, it's taken over 10 years to get to the top level, but I've done it.
Yeah.
And it's a moment what will never leave my heart.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes, I've been to the games. I've got an Olympic torch, broken records on the way, been to a world champs.
Yeah.
What more?
Just a little bit, you know.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
What more could you ask for in that instance of
Yeah.
going, do I carry on? Do I go another 4 years? But you have to remind yourself, what are the goals that you want to get along the way?
Absolutely. And you mentioned, do I carry on? Do I stop?
Mm-hmm.
Now, a bit that I feel for sports people that is brutal is the end of career.
Correct.
Now, how has that impacted you? How did you feel at any point that you may have ended a particular career?
Yeah, so my career itself, when you're a swimmer, you have that tunnel vision.
Yeah.
You go into that tunnel and you go, I am on this task.
Yeah.
You are not just, oh, I'm all in. I am all in and I am going for this.
Yeah.
But when you come out at the other end, where do you go?
Yeah.
Where do you turn to? Yes, it's good having the staff, the lifestyle coaches who we've got. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to go in the direction after this. But it just remember to keep that box open.
Yeah.
And I refer to it as Pandora's box, your own Pandora's box.
Yeah.
You have to pull out every single thing that you can as an athlete that you've put in there to then work forward and say, I'm going to put this into life.
Yeah.
And this is what I want to do for a job type of thing.
And what could you compare the ending of your career to for the young people that may get in that situation? What could you compare it to a real life event that they may go through?
It's a difficult one to answer that with, oh God, got me there.
Yeah, maybe. Because I was thinking, do you think there's a comparison there between, for example, end of your career and maybe when your school life is over and you've got to then get into the real world? Is there similarities that you'd say there? And do you think young people face those struggles, and is there a way to provide them support for that?
Yeah, I think for me personally, if I was comparing the end of your career to something else now, it would definitely be the school days. When you come out, you might have that group of friends with you.
Yeah.
As soon as you go to a different school, them friends have left you.
Gone. Yeah.
You're back by yourself.
Yeah.
You're making a new group of friends. Same when you go to college, go to uni.
Yeah.
Them group of friends are not going to be with you for the rest of your life.
No.
They might be. Great.
Amazing if
But,
they are.
yeah.
But,
But at the same time, you have to remember it's a train journey that you go on.
yeah.
And you have to remember you are on your own journey. People are going to get off at that stop because they're not going with you. You carry on going forward.
Absolutely.
Pick people up along the way who you want to bring along.
Yeah.
But don't just bring 200 carriages on the back of people that are not going to help you. Make sure you've got them 2 carriages of people that are going to push you to that level that you want to go to.
I love that. And just a side note, if there was 200 carriages on trains, maybe the trains in the UK would be better. But anyway, we'll talk about that. We spoke so candidly then about the end of year and end of school, and obviously you're on your training, you're on your own journey.
Yeah.
What's your new journey now, because obviously you are no longer going to be competing in swimming.
Correct, yeah.
What's next?
What's next for Lyndon?
Yeah.
So what's next for me is a case of I am training to do an Ironman.
Okay.
Because that was my next biggest goal.
Yeah.
As an athlete, you set ambitious targets of going to a games or going to worlds or going to Europeans.
Yeah.
When you come out, you have to think, what is the next big goal that I want to do? For me, this is why I said, look, I want to do an Ironman to prove I'm not just a swimmer.
Yeah. And
I can do other things.
And what's your plan for that? What have you got a target that you want to get this Ironman done in?
I have got a target to do it.
Oh, let's hear it.
And it's under 24 hours.
Okay. Under 24
that is
hours.
the aim. It's going to be brutal because it's going through the night.
Yeah.
And it's a one where there's no sleep. And you've literally got to mentally prepare yourself, especially in the winter periods. If you can get through a winter period in training, you are smashing it.
Yeah.
You are ready to move to the next big goal that you are actually going for. As a young kid, when you do that, you know you're on the rise.
Yeah. So 24 hours. How's the training going so far?
Tough.
Tough, yeah.
Training.
What does it look like a typical training day for this? What does it look like?
So at the moment, a typical training day will start in September.
Yeah.
So we're in August at the moment.
Yeah.
We are just coming to the end of a full trial between July and August to find out fitness-wise where we're at.
Yeah.
And I said, coming out of swimming, mentally, I am in the right place to go and do this and absolutely smash it out the park. Yes, as well as doing the wheelchair rugby now, which we'll probably get on to. But there's loads of different things there, and this is why we're currently putting it in planning phase now of going, this is what you need to do on a weekly basis. So I can't answer that specifically because we're still in the prep phase. But once I have an answer, then I'll come back and share it with
definitely. And you just touched on what I was to talk about, wheelchair rugby. Now, how did that come about?
Yeah, so with wheelchair rugby, it came around because I've been scouted for years.
Yeah.
I'd played it back in 2016 when I'd left the sport originally from swimming. And then I've been kept on the books since. And everyone's been like, come and play, come and play.
Yeah.
No, I'm just ready to just focus on my
Relax
swimming.
and
Chill out, man. Chill.
Yeah.
But for me, it was a case of, do you know what, now is the right time to do it. And the wheelchair rugby guys came to us and said, look, will you come for a trial?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, why not? What's there to lose?
Yeah.
I always say, if you've got an opportunity, take it.
Yeah, we always say, do now, worry about it later.
Correct.
Simple.
Yeah.
Easier.
Keep it simple and straight to the point and just saying, is this going to benefit me now? Yes, because you're trying something new. You're developing a new skill set. I've been in water for 12 years.
Yeah.
I'm also training bike.
Non-stop?
Yeah. May as well have been SpongeBob living in the
It must
ocean.
have felt like you're sleeping in it. Like, you know, when you're regularly swimming constantly.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, it feels like you're constantly living underwater. And I know obviously people that go through like mental health and stuff like that, that's what it can feel like.
Like
you feel like you are drowning on a daily basis. And I always say you've just got to pick yourself up, do the smallest little things to make yourself better.
Absolutely. You just spoke about mental health then. Has there been a point where you've felt like giving up and like you didn't want to carry on?
There's been many points in my career.
And at those moments, so if you talk me through one of them, how did it feel emotionally, mentally at that time?
At the time was when I left in 2016.
Yeah.
The hardest point was when I turned around and said, I'm done.
Yeah.
And we go back to that point of what you compare it to.
Yeah.
And what do you do after that? And you think to yourself, I've had that tunnel vision.
Yeah.
You don't know where to turn.
Yeah.
I went overweight. I weighed 65 kilos. I couldn't get out of my wheelchair.
Yeah.
I couldn't get on prosthetics. I couldn't do anything. I didn't want to go out the house. My anxiety was through the roof.
Was it such a change of
career,
kind of career,
life,
routine, everything?
You go from that routine as an athlete, getting up in the morning, going training, going to work, going to college, whatever, going back. Once that stops, what do you do?
Yeah.
Where do you turn to? Who do you speak to? Why are you doing this?
Yeah. And what would you say would have been the important people around you, especially at that time when you did struggle? What people did you have around you to support you?
The support that I had at the time, which I wish now, when I look back now, I would tell my younger self, listen to the staff that you have. Whether that's your coach, whether that's your gym trainer, it could be a lifestyle coach, nutritionist, whoever it is. Take the advice from them, because when you get older, you will understand why you should listen to those guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've been through life experiences. You haven't.
Yeah.
You've got to make sure that you're listening to everything that they've learned to push you to that next level and make sure that you're taking that in your box.
Yeah.
You put it in your box, and when you need to dig it out, you take that moment to dig it out.
Yeah.
And don't just sit there and go, I can't do it. Just sit and think for 2 seconds and go, my box is there. Get it.
Yeah, how
That's
do I
what you
do
have
it?
to do.
Think about
Yeah.
ways of doing that. Absolutely. I want to go back to the Ironman challenge that you are doing, because it's incredible.
Yeah.
As you well know, I can't swim. So I would only be able to do 2 parts of that.
That's fine.
But it's not about me. It's about
Yeah.
you. And I want to know what motivated you to do this big challenge.
As you'll know, Lyndon is a person who likes big challenges.
Is he? Yeah.
Yes.
Nah, I love it. You love a challenge.
Love a challenge.
It's almost, just
Yeah.
throw them at me. Yeah.
So it's one of those where I turned around after swimming and said, what is next and why? Why? Because Lyndon likes big challenges and he wants to show people that he's not just a swimmer.
Yeah.
That identity as a swimmer, yes, I'll always have that. But at the same time, you need that new identity to shift
Yeah.
and push you to a new challenge. That's why I said this is something that I know is going to mentally and physically test me like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it shows people, this is why doing it for charity and stuff like that is important, that it raises awareness to push it to that next level and go, yeah, there are going to be dark days, but you push through them because there is light at the end of the tunnel.
And that's such an important, those few words, light at the end of the tunnel, because we do get to certain situations and you feel low.
Yeah.
You feel like there's no way out.
Yeah.
But we have to find that inner strength.
Yeah.
Now, as a swimmer, I won't say former because you're still swimming. You're still going to be swimming in this Ironman. Have there been any times when you're in the water where you felt like I'm not doing good enough and I'm struggling here? I need something.
There's been many a times when I've felt like I am struggling.
Yeah.
You would go through blocks of maybe like 4 or 5 weeks worth of work and you would be like, I am getting so frustrated. I can't hit the times, nowhere near the times. And telling my younger self now is like, just wait.
Yeah.
Be patient. It is coming.
And at that point, did it feel like you had control and you were going to pull through from it?
There's 2 versions of if I'm going to pull through.
Yeah.
My younger self, no.
Yeah.
The older self, yes.
Yeah.
If I didn't do that now, coming back to the sport,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have learned a lot more from life.
No, absolutely.
And taken that forward.
Absolutely.
The younger self, I'll be beating myself up every single day and
Yeah.
getting so frustrated. I don't want to go back to training. I can't be bothered with training. That's the wrong attitude to have. Just go at it.
Yeah.
Perseverance is key.
Yeah.
And you've just got to stick every single day. It's hard because you're repeating it and it's draining.
Yeah.
People do not like the boring stuff.
They don't want to hear it, but
they don't want to hear it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's hard, they're telling you it's hard because they don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You do it because you know you've got it in you to do it.
Absolutely.
You've got a different objective. It's a hard one, but then people behind you don't want to do it. They want the easy, as I call it, the easy life to push it to that next level.
And what's been your biggest challenge now in life, not just in sport, but in life, that you've had to actually go, wow, I need some support here, or I need to get through this? What's been your biggest challenge?
I think the biggest challenge for me itself has been that moment of coming from sport and just saying, stop being on one direct route.
Yeah.
You need to make sure that all your routes are open to explore other avenues. And you've got to be a realist when you think about it. And obviously going through mental health, as we've spoken about, you just focus on being that 1% better every single day.
Yeah.
If you can get up every day and keep being 1% better and focus on that skill that you want to develop, you are winning.
Yeah.
And you just remember, keep telling yourself, I am winning at this. And if someone tells you you're not, they're not.
Yeah.
You are.
So it's important because you said that 1% better. Mm-hmm. Now, would that be 1% better than that person that you're competing against, or 1% better than yourself?
No, it's better than you.
Yeah. Look.
Be 1% better than you were yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's like 2 chess pieces in a mirror.
Yeah.
And there's a photo that goes round of the little pawn.
Yeah.
And it's the big knight or the big king in the middle in the mirror. And that's what you've got to focus on, and being
Yeah.
I'm better today than I was yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's what you've got to keep reminding yourself.
No.
And the best way to do it is set yourself 3 goals. And if you achieve one more than that, and you review that and say, I've done it,
Yeah.
brilliant. You've been that 1% better.
Positive. And I've seen like a lot of your social media, especially on TikTok.
Yeah.
Becoming a little bit of a TikTok whiz, aren't you?
Can't help it,
Getting your followers up and all that. What advice have you got for young people out there who want to forge a career like yours and who may not have the means to do that?
It's one that I would say for the young guys or anyone who listens to this right now, if you want to do it, do it. And you'll take a quote from someone just saying, just do it.
Yeah.
Go out there and experience it at whatever level you can.
Yeah.
You start at the bottom. It's like building a house.
Yeah.
You build the foundations in, you put everything up around it. That's the best way I can say it. And as long as you keep doing that day in, day out, remember, there are days that will come that you will not want to do it.
Yeah.
But them days are vitally important to show that you are not giving up. And
they're the most important days, aren't they? Yeah, they're the days where we need to actually pull it out and go, okay, we've got this. We got this.
Go into your box.
Yes.
And remember, I'm here for this one reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I want to go back to your next challenge. Obviously, you are going to be into rugby. You've got the Ironman. What's next in Lyndon's life and Lyndon's career apart from those?
Yeah, so what's next for Lyndon is a case of we focus on the Ironman, we focus on the rugby, but we also develop my skill set as well to focus on my career at long term.
Yeah.
Because it's important that as an athlete, I've learned, you have to make sure that if you want a skill, you can develop that skill.
Yeah.
In sport, you can develop many skills, and you've just got to keep pushing forward. And this is why now I've said it's important whether I go out in public speaking, or go down developing websites and being a web developer or whatever it's going to be, freelance, that I keep pushing them skills to the next level.
Yeah.
And you keep upgrading every single day or every week, every month, but you review that.
Yeah.
It's like taking a journal. You're constantly reminding yourself,
of what
I couldn't do that.
And
but now I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Interesting. And also with the basketball, rugby. That's because I blame Emma before. Rugby. What goals have you got in rugby, let's say the next 3-4 years?
Yeah, so you ask them what goals I've got for the next 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
That's not what is important to me.
Okay. So tell us what is important.
The important thing is focusing on the next year.
Yeah. Okay.
Taking it bit by bit. I've been in sport for 12 years.
Yeah.
And if I want to go for 4 years, great. But we've got to remember it takes its toll on you at times. And you have to go out there and say, just keep chipping away.
Yeah.
And I've said, if I improve over the next year and we want to carry on, we'll carry on.
Yeah.
And if we go to LA, who knows?
When's LA?
2028.
Yeah,
it's Paris at the moment.
Years,
yeah.
4 years.
But it's one of those now where I've said I will keep looking at it every year. And if I don't want to do it, I know career is so important and where I want to go.
Yeah, of course.
To get to that next level and saying, this is where I see myself going.
Yeah.
And having that identity out there. Lyndon was a swimmer. Lyndon did the Ironman. He's done rugby. But Lyndon has also stepped in business. And he's got that circle that's there that just keeps evolving and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And the more you keep putting in, it will keep expanding.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's exciting because it's a whole different sport.
It is.
Challenging.
Very challenging, yes.
When did you first realise that you actually had a skill in rugby?
I first realised when I started playing.
so literally you went into it and you went, right, I've got this.
I was like, I've been in a chair all my life.
Yeah.
What is different? I'm pushing.
Yeah.
Yes. Fitness. Yeah, it's different fitness. But it was a case of go and practice and try and see where you're at.
Yeah.
And now I've played it a bit more, understanding it, getting my head around it, we're onto a flyer. We know it's ever evolving.
Yeah, of course.
You don't go into a sport and say, I'm amazing at this.
No.
You don't know everything. You will learn new things day in, day out.
Yeah.
It's like in life. You'll learn something new today that someone didn't learn yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you've got to keep remembering this is every single day is a learning curve. You look at all the top business people in the world.
Yeah.
They are the ones that keep learning every single day. And yes, it's the lower, some of the lower hierarchy, lower
It's about the
hierarchy,
level, yeah. It's about learning.
but they can help that person gain.
100%.
Oh, I'm at this level.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've learnt this or I've learnt that. So,
Love
yeah.
that. Now, before we end, I want to ask you, what is a quote that you live by every single day?
Oof.
Ooh, this is where it gets juicy.
Love a good quote.
Yes, let's hear it.
Oh, God, there's many.
What's
There's-
your most...
The one that sticks with me, and it has done since primary school,
Yeah.
because it was our motto,
Yeah.
you have to believe in yourself to go on and achieve bigger and better things.
Love that. You have to believe in yourself to go and achieve bigger and better things.
Yeah.
Now, what advice would you give to younger Lyndon if you could talk to him?
If I could talk to younger Lyndon now, I would say just keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going every single day.
You reminded me of, was it Dory? Just keep swimming.
Keep swimming.
Yeah. That's it.
But it's not about it's remembering now them hard times.
Yeah.
Give you that taste that there's bigger and better things to come.
100%.
You can turn around now and wake up, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
But the older self now would say, keep going. You don't just come out of school or come out of college and stop learning. Every day in life, you've got to keep them cogs ticking over.
100%.
As soon as they stop and you get bored, you've stopped learning.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's where you've just got to say, it's my life. I will make this decision for me. But always ask yourself, why are you doing this?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what I do now is I say to myself, why am I doing it?
There we go.
Yeah.
Love that. Lyndon, it's been an absolute pleasure delving into your mentality, your mindset, your energy, the way that you're so focused on certain goals that you have. And it's been really great having you on here. So thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having us.